Hi guys, Gareth here from Horsemanship. Just going to have a quick chat about how to fix a rearing horse. There are all sorts of supposed fixes that I see causing more trouble than fixing. I see very many horses that are either retired or given up on because they start rearing and people try these supposed fixes that are pretty accepted in the conventional world, and they actually cause a horse to rear. So I'm going to go through a few things with Cherokee, and then I've got another video of a rearing horse that I worked with. Cherokee obviously doesn't rear, but I can show you the responsiveness that you need from your horse to fix it, and some of the tools you'd use to fix it on the ground. The video of the horse that I've got that did rear was a very quick session, and I didn't go through my groundwork as thoroughly as I normally do, because what normally happens is by the time we get on a horse, if a horse has a rearing problem, it's gone because we pick up during the groundwork. This one occasion I maybe rushed my groundwork a little, and because of that the rearing still showed up, but I at least get to show you how to deal with it. Before I get going, just remember, please like our videos. If you guys like our videos, they get fed to more people on the stream and we get to make more of an impact. So if you want to help us reach more people and help make the world a better place for horses and their people, like and share our videos and get the message out there. Right, I'm going to go through a quick groundwork movement with Cherokee just to improve, to show that he is responding well to the halter, because whether you ride in a halter, a bozal or a snaffle or a curb bit, the same nerves are triggered. It's the trigeminal nerve that comes there. So if I push on the trigeminal nerve there, it moves his face away. Now if I was in his mouth with a snaffle and I pushed over there, it would trigger the trigeminal nerve over there. Now, Cherokee hasn't been ridden in a bit, so you're a little bit offended by that. But our groundwork in the halter should translate directly to the snaffle. I don't do my groundwork, I don't even lead a horse in a snaffle, because obviously it pulls the snaffle the wrong way. But I'm triggering the same nerves, so I'm increasing that sensitivity. The other thing, of course, is don't lead your horse tight all the time, because then you're dulling them. For the same reason, even dulling them to the bit. Okay, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'm going to show you the exercise that I do. Okay, so there I am picking up on the halter exactly like my reins would pick up. Okay. Now, the big thing to understand is that horses learn from release. So pressure motivates them to do something, and when they do something and they get a release from it, that teaches them that they did the right thing. Now, one of the most common techniques to sort out a rearing horse that I've seen that causes more trouble than it solves is, as the horse rears, so people will be riding on a tight rein, the horse rears, the rider has been told to drop their reins completely and hug the horse's neck. All that does is your horse gets a massive release for rearing, and then your horse, every time you pick up on those two reins, horse is in the air and they wait for their response, and that's going to get more and more progressive until eventually they'll flip over on you. That is, I have never ever seen it fix a horse. Yeah, you get to stay on the horse while they're rearing, sometimes until they flip over, but it certainly doesn't fix the problem. Now the other ones are arguably even crazier. One of them is cracking an egg over a horse's head as they rear. That is just ridiculous. So first of all, if you get the timing right for that, What I do now is far more constructive. The cracking the egg over the head thing is really an attempt to punish a horse for the behavior. And if you get great timing, you might be really good at punishing your horse. But that's not what we want to go for. Punishment doesn't work with horses. It makes bitter horses, and it makes our sessions into battles. The other one I've even seen video of, is extremely dangerous, of riding a horse that rears near water, and when they rear you tip them into the water. Besides being extremely dangerous and risking drowning with a horse on top of you, the actual thing that ends up working there is exactly what I'm going to do here. If my horse were to rear, and I had him on a contact, and he reared, and I let go and hang on to the neck, all I'm doing is telling him he's doing the right thing by rearing. Because every time he rears, he gets a release. Now, if he were to rear, and I try and disengage his hindquarters, which is something that we do when a horse gets stressed or gets distracted, we will disengage a hindquarter. Disengaging the hindquarters while they're rearing can be dangerous. I'm not saying it's never the right thing to do, but you could end up tripping them. If the front feet are off the ground and then you have them move their hind end, you'll end up tripping them. A bend to a stop, if the horse isn't gone all the way up, slowly wouldn't necessarily be the wrong thing. But the ideal is, so if you're, let's say, riding a dressage test and you're on a concentrated rein, your ideal would be the horse rears, you drop one rein and tip the front feet down. You'll see this in the video that I do on the big thoroughbred that I was working with. He's obviously not as advanced as Cherokee, but he immediately responded. I had done the groundwork, he was responding to the rein. It'll tip them without tripping them up. Great, we'll have the videos run now, and please let us know if there's any particular videos or topics you want us covered on the YouTube channel. Thank you, cheers.
Hi guys, I wanted to give you some of my thoughts on dealing with a horse who rears. And first off, horses rear because they don't think they can go forward or don't want to go forward. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And then we end up getting our horses in trouble because we use some pretty barbaric or, not so sensible fixes to try and cause a horse to discontinue a rearing habit. And once it becomes habit, it becomes a really bad habit. So my thoughts on this, I'd really like you to take a look at Gareth's video going forward in this. But my thoughts on this is if you can actually bend your horse with a one rein stop, if you can direct the forequarters, and if you can move the hindquarters, I would bet you most of your rearing trouble is going to go away. I don't have any horses that continue rearing when I ride them. I just can't seem to cause it to show up if I go and I ride with good horsemanship in mind. So let's just take a look at, I don't just want a one rein stop, I want my horse to be able to flex at the pole because that shows relaxation through the spine. If the horse is relaxed through the spine, they cannot rear. They have to create tension in the spine to be able to rear effectively. If a horse moves its hindquarters, again, there has been a release in the tension of the muscle from the pole to the hock. And if that is loose and moving fluidly through your disengagements, through your anti-flight checks or your anti-rear checks, as it were, then your horse can't rear. If you can get a nice direct rein action and give your horse somewhere else to go when they feel they can't or won't go forward, you will likely not have a horse rear to begin with. And though we're talking about some remedial stuff with rearing because it's a big topic for me, I've gotten almost mortally wounded from a horse rearing, and I would just rather it not happen in the first place. And the way that I could have prevented that was by using my anti-flight checks and doing what was right for the horse. So as you guys want to cruise through your problem horses, please note that when you get your four-core movements and your anti-flights done with a degree of quality, you are probably not going to have a rearing or bucking horse at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.